Welcome back to Espio the Chameleon reads Chapter 10 of The Walking Dead Hope. I'm Espio the Chameleon. Now let's continue where we left off. You got it, boss, the first one called, pulling on a rope and sliding the reinforced gate out of the way. As it opened, Louis saw the lean woman walking their way. She had her straight brown hair cut short, small amounts of grime covering on the right side. Her clothes were simple and beige tank top paired with tight ripped jeans and thick leather boots. She stopped in front of them, eyeing the tree with caution. "So you're Javier," she said by the way of an introduction, looking the man up and down. "I am," he replied, nodding slowly. He looked behind her, expecting Jesus to be accompanying her. "And who might you be?" The woman's jaw tightened, glancing at Javi's company. "Name's Maggie," she said. "I run the hilltop." "It's a pleasure to meet you, Maggie," Javi said, stepping forward and stretching his hand. He heard a distinctive click of a gun being cocked from behind Maggie, and deciding against his amicable approach, stepping back in line with the other two. "What do you want?" Maggie asked, crossing her arms. Louis noticed she favored her right side when standing, probably from an injury. Ouch. "We're here because we need help," Louis answered for Javi. His brows tightly knitted. "My wife's been kidnapped by a group, and Javi here thinks you may be able to help us track her down." "Is that so?" she replied, tilting her head at Javi. "You're asking for our assistance. How rich." "Look, I know you guys have a history of Richmond," Louis said, stepping forward. The guns clicked again, but didn't back down, instead choosing to stand his ground. "But I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, please help me find my wife. She's all I have left in this world, and I would never forgive myself if something happened to her. I'll do anything for you, please." The leader of the hilltop raised her fist, calling her guards to stand down. She eyed Louis up and down, his shoulders slumped and his face crestfallen. Pursing her lips, she cursed under her breath and nodded. "All right, come inside." Silently, Javi and Lizzie shared a look before following Maggie inside, Louis right behind her. The people in the inner courtyard stopped doing their chores for a moment to stare at the newcomers. Some of them shared whispered words with each other. Louis's eyes were fixed on what looked to be the main admin building. As they walked inside the building, Maggie said something they couldn't hear to a man at the door, and he left the room. Maggie led the trio inside her office and sat down behind the desk, intertwining her fingers. Louis, Javi, and Lizzie sat awkwardly on 3 seats on the other side of the desk, looking at Maggie and at each other. Louis looked around the room, taking in their surroundings. A few paintings hung in the walls, most of them depicting some historical events. Half of the frames had been torn down, the only part of the pictures left being the canvas on which they were painted, a small metal tracks from where they hung. On the desk were a few trinkets, along with the charging base for the walkie-talkies. Most of the slots were filled with one except for 2, which were missing. Barely 2 minutes of silence later, the door burst open and a tall man with a scruffy beard walked in. He wore a trench coat much like Louis's, and his hair was up in a ponytail. His eyes scanned the room, finally landing on Javi. He leaned against one of the bookshelves and crossed his arms. "Fancy seeing you here, huh?" he said. Raising an eyebrow by his demeanor, Louis assumed this was Jesus. "Louis, I knew you'd be ticked at me, but hear me out," Javi said, lifting his hands. "We're here because we need help." "And who said we're helping you again?" Jesus retorted. "I did," Maggie cut in, making the man do a double take. "Excuse me?" She dismissed his reaction and directed her gaze toward Louis, her eyes softening. "I want to help you, Louis, I really do," she began, leaning onto the desk. They heard Jesus scoff from beside her. "But I need you to do something for us first." Anything you need, just tell me, Louis exclaimed, almost jumping from his seat in excitement. Maggie cleared her throat and began. This morning, 2 of our men went out on a supply run. Pretty standard stuff. Go in. Take whatever they could find. Get out. Unfortunately, they've missed their hourly check-ins 2 times already, she explained, raising one of the walkie-talkies. I can't risk sending more people out to get them as of right now, she lamented, closing her eyes. But if you were to go into town and help them get back, I'd be willing to set our differences aside to help you. Javier and Lizzie looked at each other briefly before Louis exclaimed, We'll do it. Perfect, Maggie said, clapping her hands. She cast a glance at Jesus, who frowned and looked away. Sighing, the leader of the hilltop pursed her lips. We're gonna need one of you to stay behind, however. Why? Lizzie asked, tilting her head. Insurance, Jesus retorted. The trio looked at each other, having a mental conversation. Javier sighed and stood up. The other 2 looked straight at them. I'll stay here, he said, Louis looking back at them. Lizzie here's a better shot than me, and she'll watch your back. The woman in question nodded decisively at Louis, offering a smile. Louis pressed his lips together, looking down at his hands. With a strong nod, he looked up at Maggie. Where are we going? And that was chapter 10 of The Walking Dead Hope, a Walking Dead fan fiction written by Goofy Gomez. What do I think of it? I find this chapter to be really nice. Both the paragraph structuring and sentence structuring were really nicely done. I actually like the fact how AJ and Violet got to the schoolyard and telling Louis and Louis telling Javi about his wedding with Clementine. That is what I call a true love story. Now that I think about it, no wonder I feel that Louis and Clementine need each other. And as for this Lizzie girl, I have my suspicions on her. She better not get too close with Louis. Okay, I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm actually a huge fan of Louis X Clementine. They're basically my favorite couple of the Walking Dead video game franchise. And as for that Lizzie girl, my eyes are onto her. And the fact that the Hilltops and Richmond communities have been a little hasty at each other, that is for the mistake that Richmond made, that I can truly understand. Yeah, but other than that, this chapter is really good, and so far the story is really nice. Now, what do you all think of this chapter? Did you all like it or did you not? Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And are you enjoying this story so far, or are you not enjoying it so far? Don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. Well, I better get to my meditation. It's almost 6 o'clock where I'm at, and my meditation starts at 6 p.m. But thank you all very, very much for watching. This is Espio the Chameleon signing off. Sayonara.